All right. Hello, folks, and welcome back to my little corner of the internet. We're back here with the mapping machine. If you caught the last live stream, it was definitely because I didn't double check a few things, and I got like 40 megabytes a second out of my DD copy instead of using my PCI to NVMe adapter and putting it in here and taking one of these cards out. But anyhow, after the whole painstaking process, I mean, it really still was only one command, even though I needed to omit the P3 on the end. If you go back and watch the live stream on my channel, the DD command that I entered, what I ended up doing the first time was copying one of the logical partitions instead of copying the whole disk itself over. So I had to reinitialize. I had to omit the P3, the last two characters on the end, from the origin device, and so I had to go through it and do that, and I was able to do it in a better manner that time around. So now that that's all been complete, I haven't really had a chance to put the drive back in, and I could just put it in there. It's kind of an uneventful thing, I would imagine. Any other time I've done this, I really haven't had too much trouble, but you never know, something might happen. We might have some trouble, but I would imagine what is going to happen once we get in here and we swap out this device. We're going to take out the 1 terabyte that's in here and put in the Rocket 4 Plus, and everything should have happened. Well, everything looked good. So we should boot right up into Windows, and it should just work. Now, we did go ahead, instead of expanding and making it the full 4 terabytes, what we did was just left the 1 terabyte partition alone, and we just added another, whatever was available, almost 3 terabytes. It's like 2.7. So, but we made that a separate partition. That way it's separate from the C drive in case any Windows does anything silly or we need to reinstall Windows for whatever reason. It's not going to mess with anything installed on that partition, which is ideal. Anyways, I want to go ahead to get into putting the drive in here really quick, because like I said, it should be uneventful. We should be able to get right in here, get the drive in, wham bam, thank you ma'am, and it works. But like I said, there's always that possibility that things are going to go to complete crap, and then we'll have a situation on our hands that we'll have to solve. Most likely not gonna happen, but you never know. Crazier things have happened in the past. So let's go ahead and switch over here to our top down. Okay, so, and one thing I noticed here, like I mentioned in my last 2 streams, I don't really have the background music playing in these shots. If it becomes too much at any point, switching back and forth, the music being there and then not being there anymore, please somebody, I have chat pulled up here in OBS, so please somebody let me know. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get in here with we have our little skinny guy here. You can't really see him that well in this shot, but our little skinny precision screwdriver to get at these tiny little, there's like this little bracket piece that goes over. You know, the funny thing about this Rocket 4 compared to some of these other drives that I've ran is it actually runs far cooler, which is strange, or at least inside of that USB enclosure. I've had a couple different drives inside of the USB enclosure, and all of them get pretty hot in there when they're copying data. So yeah, so it's 1 terabyte. It's a Samsung 970 Pro, so it's a pretty good drive actually. Try to get it a little closer of a shot there. You can definitely tell it's got some like stickiness on it. There we go. It's like residue from that thermal pad that is on this thing here. Sorry for the blurry shot here. I'll try to, but yeah, see there's this thermal pad here. So, and they're great and all, but you know, if you go through more than a drive or two in its life cycle, it's really not as effective anymore because there's going to be air pockets and stuff from, you know, taking it up and on, taking it up. And so, but luckily, like I said, with the Rocket 4 Plus, I've noticed it doesn't get near as hot, at least inside the USB enclosure. So, and I do not like the way the retention mechanism works in this thing. So instead of just having a screw in there, this retains the M.2 drive as well, which is like not my favorite way of retaining a M.2 drive in the whole wide world, especially since this car spends its time in the back of an SUV gathering mapping data. But I do like the confidence of having it tight on both sides. That does rather solidify things for me. I'm gonna kind of just check it here. It's pretty tight, looks good. So see, pretty uneventful stuff. That is a drive swap done in the modern age. It is, there it is, you know, taking out microchips and plugging other microchips in. It's still an awesome thing and I love to do it, but I gotta say it's a lot different than messing with all the cable stuff in here. At one point we did have like a 4 SATA drive SSD like RAID in here, and I mean it's great, it had great speed and everything, but it was just so much SATA cables, power cables, just we have a NAS that we record to now, and then this is a 4 terabyte NVMe drive for the system drive, so it's just crazy to think about sometimes how much this has changed, especially if you've been doing it for a long time. I had a bug jump at me there. Scared of a bug. What's wrong with me? Probably thought it was a bee. I'm so used to wasps and bees getting into my workshop here, and I take those kind of bugs very seriously. I do not like being stung in the least bit. I don't think anybody does. There we go. Alright, so we're going to grab our power. There we go. We got the power here. Okay. Grab this right here. That is HDMI. Alrighty then. We got power. We got HDMI. Ethernet. Alright, we're going to go ahead and borrow the mouse and keyboard from the wall mount PC here for a hot second. Okay. Alright, now we should be able to switch on over here to our PC capture. Alright, we'll put me in the corner here. And we're going to go ahead and fire this guy up here and see what happens. I'm not going to touch really anything. I'm not going to bother bringing up the BIOS or anything. I'm just going to kind of hands off it for a second. You see me looking this way because I'm looking at the monitor over here. Bam. With 0 issues. I need to move me for a second here. Let's put me over here for just a second. There we go. Backup recorder, 2.7 terabytes. So, as I said here, you see a very uneventful thing. Windows is back up and running. No gripes about activating Windows or anything. It is a clone of everything that happened here, and since we didn't try to expand it or anything, we literally just kept it a clone and added that second partition there. It's not giving me any problems. That's fantastic. So, other than all the time that I wasted putting in the wrong command, it really is just one command to do that. You don't really need to download AOME backup or any of that stuff. And if you want more speed and intuitive function, there are other tools for Linux and for Windows that you can download. Not really for Windows, I guess, but there are a lot of tools for Linux for partitioning drives and cloning disks, and you know what I mean. But I personally like DD. It's built in. They call it Disk Destroyer because obviously if you screw it up, there is a really good chance that you will screw up a whole drive. So it's very important for, not to unplug things while they're being DD'd or to lose power. So if you're in a sketchy situation where your house power goes out some of the time, or, that's probably not the best idea to be doing that in a place like that. But other than that, but that really goes for any application, so it kind of goes without saying. So literally one line, we cloned the drive, and I went into gparted and just created a second NTFS partition, and it's completely recognized there through Windows. If we switch through here real quick, just want to be careful about what I pull up on this machine. There's really not a lot on this. It just does work, this computer mostly. So go ahead and pull up disk management here. So yeah, it's recognized everything. It knows it's all on that one drive. And I do believe I have Crystal Disk Mark downloaded. Yeah, so we could probably do that. We'll just keep it simple here. We'll just do the one with the big numbers, Sorry. That probably clipped so bad in the mic. I am so sorry, you guys. Wow. 6.7 gigabytes per second. That's not forget that there is a 13900K inside of this mapping machine. So, I don't want to downplay the machine at all. It's kind of middle of the road GPU wise, but as a computer, it's still a 13900K system with a Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus now as a system drive. So it's just gonna scream. This is screaming fast ridiculousness. I love it because I spend so much time with this machine, you guys. If I'm not mapping on it, I'm usually playing podcasts and stuff on it because the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth combo adapter that's in the motherboard syncs right up to the Subaru, and it sounds great. Like, it always sounded like crap. I could do it before in the mapping car, but in the Fiat, trying to like Bluetooth to one of those Bluetooth adapter things, it always sounded real. There was a lot of reverb. It sounded like you were in a big room, but with this setup in the new mapping car, the audio sounds amazing. So if I'm going to or from a job, usually I listen to music while I work, but if I'm going to or from, I typically turn on you know, stuff that I like to listen to, debates, political stuff, nothing anybody to be interested in, but it works really great, and I spend a lot of time on this computer, so that is just fantastic. Yeah, so that's pretty much the end of the live stream. I just really wanted to get on and show really how painless it can be, other than the time that I waited and I kind of screwed it up. So, well, once you kind of have it down pat and you know what you're gonna do, once it's done, man, and you can download Gparted Live. It's a live installation. You can run it completely off the USB stick. You can even load it into RAM and just run it off of your RAM even. So it's real snappy. It's lightweight Debian distribution. There's no pseudo passwords, so there's a lot of stuff that you can do. You can pop it into a Windows system. I use it a lot for recovering files even. There's just so much stuff that you can do with it. It's versatile, and then not to mention all the partitioning tools that it comes with. It's just a fantastic tool, and this is the end result. Right there, we literally took one out, we put one in, came right back on, we're ready to rock and roll. So this thing will be going back in the mapping car tomorrow morning, and I will be finishing up Wayne County, Ohio with it. And that will be the probably end of story until we go to either replace that drive with a bigger one or something happens where it fails on us. But so far it's full steam ahead. So I want to thank anybody that's going to end up watching this at some point in time. I hope you learned something, especially from my mistake in the prior video. If you go back and you watch the specific part where I have I did the /NVMe01 and P3 or whatever, but it was literally that last P3. I just needed to omit that and copy the drive itself over. Once I did that, all I needed to do was physically swap the drives out and boot it right back up into Windows. So you guys saw it here. If you have any questions, you can always leave comments on any of my videos. If you want to see anything else related to Debian 12 especially, I've been getting really into the last few days, so anybody has any questions Linux related especially, let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed this. You have a lovely evening.